Bam. We're back. You know what I'm saying? We back. It's been a couple weeks, but we're back. Same shirt. Didn't do it on purpose, but I knew it was a day to get back on my recording grind. I got so many video ideas, bro. In the book, like this is the wrong book. In the book, we have just about 14 new videos. You know what I'm saying? By the time this come out, most of those videos will probably be recorded. And we're taking notes about everything. I got so many books, so many journals with so many important notes for my success. That's how we like to do things around here. Because guess what? We are optimistic. We gotta stay optimistic. There's nothing to be other than optimistic. But let's get straight into the video. So the video today is called My Contract Portfolio. Simple, straight to the truth, nothing crazy. It'll be segmented a little bit, but the main focus I want to leave you with by the end of this video is to give you a perspective of how I operate with my contracts. Now, I won't be giving out how I do my strategies because that's a little bit like come on, like that's a little bit too much information, but I am going to deep dive and tell you some of the choices and mistakes that even I make, and I'm about 3 to 4 now. I'm about 4 to 5. It's about 4 to 5 months into contracts, but actually I've only done 3 contracts and 2 negative, 1 positive. But we'll get into that. I'm on my 4th one. Yep, I'm on my 4th one. So let's get into that. So, okay. And that shit fell. It's okay. So the first thing we're getting into is how I pick my stocks. Also, I don't know if you guys fuck with the transitions that I do from clip to clip. You know what I'm saying? Once I get to recording more, have a little bit better equipment, maybe I'll keep the whole thing in for some of the videos if y'all like it. But if y'all like the little transitions, then of course I'm gonna keep it. But if you don't, then I can do my regular walk over here and then draw up what I gotta say. But let's get straight into the video. So at first, when I was picking, I didn't have a distinct difference. I think I went through 3 stages. The first stage, I really had no distinct difference. Like, really and truly, my stocks that I would just put money into, put $50, $100, $200 into, and the stocks I would look at for contracts were the exact same thing. And the problem with that is if you have a stock like Apple or Tesla, the option prices to get into that and make to make a contract with one of these stocks is so expensive to the point where I'm not experienced enough to be confident in putting $1,000 into a contract. Well, technically I ain't even got $1,000 to put into a contract, but that's not the point. I don't have enough money to do that confidently. And even if I did have enough money to do that confidently, I don't think it would be a very smart decision to put $1,000 into a contract, and I haven't been successful in one yet. So what I ended up doing is I ended up going to a second phase, which I started to split up and make and diversify my portfolio. So I would have a portfolio for contracts and I have a portfolio for stocks. But still, with the portfolio for contracts or for options, I apologize, it was still the difference on buying into it and buying a contract was still some would be 800, some would be 600, some would be 400, some would be 300, some would be 200. It varied too much. It fluctuated too much, and I could only do some. So I'm like, why am I wasting time on a stock that has a contract? The cheapest contract is $800, and I'm not going to put nearly as much money into that contract in the first place. So why is it even something I'm looking at? I'm wasting my time. I need to be more efficient, more effective. So I broke it down into my third phase, which is what I'm in now. And what I did was I got a price that I thought was okay that I would spend on a contract. And I had contracts, I had stocks, I like two stocks, 2 to 3, maybe 4 stocks that were around, that had options around that price range of like $200 with like 2 weeks for the contract to expire. And with that once I had that base and those standards put in, it was so much easier to find. I think I have over nine. I have about 9 or 10 stocks that fit that range. So at the end of the week, I'll talk about that in a second. But that's how I would pick. That's how now I pick the stocks. That's way more efficiently effective, because now if I'm looking at a chart, I can actually get into, like, I can actually perform a trade. It's not something I'm just looking at and I'm never going to be able to touch unless I make more money, be very successful in the future. Whether it will happen, and that's why I say I'm on my third phase, because this is only the phase where I'm using $200. At one point, I think I'm gonna be using a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really gonna be getting up there in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, be optimistic, type shit. But yeah, now I'm gonna transition into, which I've been trying to avoid a little bit, the next phase of what we're gonna be talking about. So now we're gonna talk about these two stocks. Now, what I do, I like to create a routine in what I do. So before, like, I would just kind of look throughout the week, pick a stock that I might like, and it would be very messy. I wouldn't have a definite way of picking, or the best way to choose, like, oh, is this stock going to be good, or oh, is this stock going to be bad to trade? And an opportunity where I could jump in that follow my strategy, I would miss it because maybe it's on a Tuesday and I just didn't know. Like, you're not going to know these things unless you're looking at the charts every single day. And maybe the opportunity was on the 8th stock at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. And it's like, maybe I would have saw that if I was more open and more strategic with my approach. So that's why I became more strategic with my approach, you feel me? So why do I have these two stocks written on there? Hold up, I'm finna get to that one sec. I gotta explain my little strategy. Now, my strategy on how I pick a trade, how I get into a trade, but my strategy on how I pick a stock. So before the I jump in part, and how I pick a stock is every Sunday I'll look through my portfolio and I'll see how the stocks are moving. Like, are they good? Like, I'll have a list of things that I'm looking at to see if I'm going to jump in. That those will soon be things that you make for your own strategy, like how are the candles moving, how are the flow of the candles. I'm not trying to give out, what I'm saying, I'll give y'all information, but like, I can't give you my strategy, because let's say when this video gets, blows up, then everyone finna take my strategy. And it's like, damn, now like they finna switch it up, and now I gotta switch up for it. Let me make my bread, and then I'll tell you my strategy. And if they switch it up, I'll be smart enough to the point where, okay, now I'll just switch up and learn from how they switched up. Be a step ahead, you feel me? Because I'm great at adapting. But anyways, let's get back on topic. So every Sunday, look at my portfolio, pick a stock, and these were the two stocks that on that Sunday I found to like be almost perfect for what I thought, like, for predictions for the week. So if I looked at it, went through the strategy and what I would do to get into a stock, then after that, these two were the last two that I thought fit that criteria, and I just put all the details out and see which one is better. Or I might have enough money to the point where I might want to do one contract for this one contract for that one. But I did a different choice. I'm going to get into that. One sec. So, as you can see, there's only one stock left, and that's HPQ. With HPQ, there's 3 reasons why I chose HPQ over HPE. First, well, actually, we'll go from bottom to top. First, it was Strategy Pro. Both of them were fit my criteria, but however, HPQ fitted, like, the candle flow was a little bit more readable. I could predict or have more confidence in HPQ rather than HPE when it comes to my strategy and how I would jump into a stock. Now, the next reason was HPQ was cheaper. I wanted to try something new. I had enough money to do 2 contracts. I've only done 1 contract before, but this time I was able to do 2. Now, when you do 2 contracts, that makes making money is twice as easy, but losing money is also twice as easy. And I'll get into a little bit of how my adventure is with going with HPQ, because I've already done this trade. Like, this contract is already in process. I'm going to talk a little bit about it later in the video on how it's going for me. And it's going, let's just say that. And then the last one is, it was just less to change. It took less to change. To be exact, HPQ, all I would have to do, all the stock would have to do, I can't do anything, is for it to go from 35.43 to 34.50, rather than HPE going from 21.22 to 20 flat. So it's a 0.93 cents versus $1.22 difference. Not too much of a difference, but one is still lower than the other for change to make me $100. Now you might be like, why are you just settling with $100 and you're putting $400 into it? Listen, you've got to have a goal. This works for me. This might not work for you. This might not work for your homie, your grandma, your grandpa, whoever's doing this, but this works for me. I have to have a clear goal, and what is a good enough, round enough dollar that I could reach, that I could be like, okay, this is our first step if I make a contract. And that's just flat out make $100 on the contract, reach $100. So that's where I put the difference as. So now I can be like, well, how much does it have to change to make $100? And now I can make the differences, and now I can choose, and that's how I got HPQ over HPE. HPE definitely took a harder turn than HPQ, to say the least. If I did HPE, I would be hurting right now. I would be in so much pain right now. I don't know how HPE is looking right now. I'm gonna have to check after, maybe between the skits, so I can tell y'all how it's going. But like, whew, it's not looking good. But that's how I chose HPQ over HPE. Lastly, I will get into why I chose, no, not why I chose HPQ, but how my journey is going with choosing that option, and the mistakes I made, and how those mistakes have molded me and made me into a better, I guess I can call myself a stock trader. It made me a better stock trader overall. I was gonna transition, but it was like, no, skip. Okay, give you a little dance segment, but now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna talk about the mistakes I made in picking this trade. But what mistakes are used? Well, first of all, before we get into that, you have to be optimistic, man. You have to look at the good side of mistakes. If you look at mistakes for what they are, then like flat out, then you'll just take the negativity from mistakes. But we're optimistic. We see mistakes and we see the lesson behind mistakes. So guess what? We improve from mistakes. So guess what? We want more mistakes so we can get better. The first mistake I'm going to talk about is the rush I took to get into this contract. the day it was Monday before 9:30, I'm like, it was I had my usual schedule. I already clicked the contract, so the contract was already in process. Once it hits 9:30, the contract is going through. And I'm rushing. Like I'm like, oh, why is it not going through? Why is it not going through? My dumb self forgetting that it starts at 9:30, not 9 o'clock. So I'm canceling, I'm putting it back, I'm canceling, I'm putting it back. And the reason why I was rushing and doing this was because on my old contract, I didn't put it in, or not on my old contract, but on the other on my other option trade, I could have got in, and bro, I could have made so much. I could have made like 200 plus. I could have made like 200 plus, and it would have been it would have been a pretty good trade. That's all I would have said. I would have been a happy camper. But I missed my opportunity because I didn't put it in beforehand, and I knew it was gonna go up, and I made that mistake, and I didn't want to make that mistake on this trade. However, the rush that I had, I, it almost blinded me to other options of how it could go down, because once I was rushing and doing and trying to get it in, I could have took that time to look at the trade and actually be like, is this gonna go right? Double check, triple check. There's no amount of checking that is wrong. If you check 10 times, you might see something on the 10th check that you didn't see on the other checks before. I get into it, get the trade, and instantly it doesn't do what I want to do, what I expected it to do. And I'm struggling. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, ugh, first day, you know what I'm saying, trying 2 contracts. I've never done 2 contracts before, and it's going rough. It's a rough day in the office. It's a rough day in the office. And that mistake really put me, like, it really put a lot of things to light. And the one thing that puts it light is my strategy. My strategy was not as foolproof as I thought. But I have to test my strategy with every contract trade that I make, or forex trade that I make. I can build on top of my strategy. And I'm a confident person. No matter what, I'm going to be confident in my strategy. And if there's something that shows that my strategy is flawed, I'm going to just improve the strategy so that flaw will never happen again. And then I bring my confidence back, and that's the cycle that my strategy goes. So it goes down, up, until it can finally grab on to some profit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Be optimistic. So that was the main mistake I made. I just rushed it, didn't double check, and my strategy was flawed. I needed to put a little bit more information into my strategy. I write my strategy down step by step on how I jump into a stock, and I should be following that strategy no matter what. So had to change up the strategy after I made my mistake, and now I'm gonna get into the reality of the choices that I've made. Ice. You feel me? Okay. Let me block it real quick. Okay. Now I know we're supposed to be optimistic, and I'm trying my best to be optimistic. I swear I am. But these stats are crazy. Bro, let's be optimistic. Okay, let me chill. Let's be optimistic. So, at first, we're down $230 out of the 400. And then, you know what I'm saying? It got... And then it got better. We were only down 150. This sounds so crazy. And then at our lowest, we were down like 340 out like the 460. And at this point, I'm just like, I have faith. I have faith in my choices, even though my choice was wrong. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But then, I opened my eyes, and my patience was given to me. It was given to me in a blink of an eye. And we were down 50. We were down like $50. Now being down $50, I was like, oh my God. from 340 to 50. We were living in the trenches last week eating ramen noodles. Now we're like, I mean, we're still in the trenches. We're just like eating, we just have hot cells now at that point. And now we're down 188. So we're back a little bit down in the trenches. We're to our last couple drops of hot sauce. So yeah. This is tough. I'm not gonna lie, this is tough. Out of four, I'm pretty positive my fourth trade. First trade lost money. Second trade lost money. Third trade made money. Barely any, but still positive. This is my fourth trade. I don't want to get too much into the trades because I'm gonna have a video that does that for me, that I'm going to get a little bit more into the trades that I've done and our road to success, little hint. But just to tell you, this road will have mistakes. And at the end of the day, you have to realize you have control over the decisions that you make. So if you make a trade like this, be prepared for the consequences, because it's not always good. Now, does that mean we're like, oh, this trade might not work? No, we're still confident. We're still optimistic. I'm still optimistic about this trade. I still believe in this trade that it will maybe not get me to where I want it to be, but this trade helped me with my strategy. Now I have a better chance of getting closer to what I actually predict on a contract trade beforehand, before I jump into it. So I did lose something. I did lose money, but I gained information. Now wait, hold on. I didn't lose money yet. The money is still there. It's still possible to go straight up. The contract doesn't end till the 27th, so I still have time. But obviously, time is money. It does go down because of theta, and it is less likely with the more time that goes on. However, I think because of how it's moving, it'll take another dip that will reach me around the 50s. I'll keep y'all updated from video to video, and you'll see my progress on it. But until then, stay optimistic. And yeah, because I swear on everything, this might look ugly. You might look at my portfolio and be like, this is what you've done in the 4 months that you've done it. And your optimism might be low. You can tell just by the way I'm moving, just by the day I'm talking. I'm not as optimistic as I was in the beginning. But that doesn't mean anything. To be fair, it doesn't matter if you're optimistic, nervous, fearful, any feeling. The feeling doesn't matter as much. It can matter, but it doesn't matter as much as the action you take. As long, if it's a positive feeling and, you know what I'm saying? You're building all that positive feeling with something that's stable, and that stability as in the action that you will take that will make you have a better choice, then it's perfectly fine. But never let your nervousness or paranoia or, oh, I might do this or this could happen. Don't let a woulda, shoulda, coulda stop you from being great and getting a bag. Because there's risk on whatever you do in life. So I see it as, if I'm going to take a risk, I might as well aim for the top. Be easy. I like that quote. Stay optimistic. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. More to come, and you will see me in a couple seconds. No, you won't see me in a couple seconds, but I'll see myself in a couple seconds because I have more videos to record. But stay optimistic. Love y'all.